Hello, everyone. This will be a comprehensive guide to the IB computer science um, experience, I guess, and what exactly you'll be learning, what the IA is about, because it is quite different to the other Group 4 IAs. And if you are thinking of getting an EE in computer science, then I'll also briefly talk about that. So first of all, should you take computer science? Well, I'll be clear with you right now. You are not necessarily learning how to program, or at least it's not a big focus of the IB computer science syllabus. Instead, you'll be learning how to develop a system, how the computer works in terms of hardware and software. So these include things such as the system development lifecycle, what you need to know, what you need to collect from your clients, um, the computer architecture, and what each component does, the software required, so perhaps the operating system and what are its jobs, other utility softwares, and you will touch briefly about algorithms and data structures. For example, you'll learn how to sort and search, including things such as bubble sort and just linear search. If you take HL, you'll be learning a few more things that are a bit more in depth. You'll learn how binary search works, but I don't think you necessarily need to know how to implement it. You'll learn about 2D arrays. You'll learn about linked lists and a few other algorithms and data structures such as queues and stacks, but overall it's not too in depth. And so if that's what you're after, if that's what you want to learn from the syllabus, it's not a clear focus and perhaps it's not quite suited for you, and you might want to take your studies somewhere else. Uh, Next, I'm going to tell you what exactly is the difference between HL and SL, because not just the content that's different, there are other things that differ between the two levels, and we'll get into that. So first of all, let's talk about the similarities. Paper 1 and Paper 2. So paper 1 is just your usual exam. You have two sections in paper 1. Section A consists of just short answer questions covering core topics. So a lot of this is just knowledge-based questions. You'll have to memorize a few key terms. And overall, if you study well, you should be able to do paper 1 quite easily. Section B just consists of a more lengthier questions that you have to do some deeper analysis on. And I believe if you are SL, you get 3 questions in section B, while if you are HL, you get up to 5, I believe. So it's similar. You just get more questions in section B for HL, and of course the material itself is more in depth, and there's just more of it for the people taking HL. But overall, the structure of the exam for paper 1 is identical, and so is for paper 2. The only difference between SL and HL for paper 2 is just the amount of content that's in it. But in paper 2, you'll be offered 4 options. So option A being databases. Here you'll learn things about the relational database, normalization, um, a little bit of SQL, DML, DDL, all that stuff. As for option B, you'll be learning about modeling and simulation. So this is about data, how you can model and simulate it, visualization of data. For C, it's web science. So you'll learn about HTTPS, HTML, and CSS, uh, the functions of the URL in terms of how exactly your browser communicates with the servers in order for you to get your web pages. And option D is object-oriented programming. So you learn things such as encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism. So if that sounds like an interest to you, you might want to take option D. Next, let's talk about another difference between the two. So as you can see from here, not only are the weightings for each paper different, but HL has an additional paper along with paper 1 and paper 2. And this is paper 3. So paper 3 consists of a case study that is unique to each year, and you will need to uh, discuss this case study with your teachers and your friends to study it and learn about the topic at hand. So for example, this year in 2025, this is about neural networks and how it can be used in specifically the context of a insurance company. So we learned about uh, recurrent neural networks, how they work. We learned about transformer neural networks, about the hardware that is required to run those, their architecture, uh, the data needed to train these machine learning uh, algorithms, and so on and so forth. So next we'll move on to the CSIA. And this, I might say, might even be the best part of the IB computer science. And it might even be the best IA, arguably. Depends on what you like. Because unlike the other IAs in the computer science IA, you'll be creating a computer science solution to a problem. So your job is to find a client that requires some form of solution. So perhaps they need software to do specific things, and you'll need to implement a solution for them using code. So an example, perhaps you could make a scheduling system for a dentist or doctor or hospital, perhaps something for a sports station, something for a hotel, uh, anything that you can find, and you can even develop things such as games. So this is where, if you do want to learn programming, this is where all of it will go to. The IA will be the most interesting part overall. So uh, you should pick a topic that you like, and you should learn as much as you can, because this is really, really the funnest part of the computer science IB syllabus. So what does the IA consist of? Well, it has five criteria, technically six, because criterion B has two parts. So criteria A consists of planning. You'll be needing to find a client, discuss their problems, and offer solutions. You'll then need to list down a few success criteria that you want to achieve in your solution, and that'll be relevant in the upcoming criteria. Criteria B, the solution overview. So here you need to talk about what exactly you're doing and what is your solution. That means that you'll need to create uh, flowcharts and top-down diagrams discussing how your solution works. You'll need to show your input-output screens and how each component of your solution works. And so this part is quite a large portion of the computer science IA. Uh, and it does consist of two parts. So the second part of the criteria B is the record of task. So here you'll need to document exactly what you're doing and how long you estimate it took you. So perhaps finding a client took you 1 hour, you'll need to write that down. And if you have a meeting with them, again, you'll need to write that down. All those kinds of things you'll put in your record of task just to keep track of what exactly you did in developing your computer science IA. Criteria C is development. So in this criteria, you'll need to list down the skills that you use in your computer science IA. And these consist of things such as using if-else statements, so conditionals, things such as loops. You can have searches and sorts as well as skills. And if you're taking HL, then you need to put HL skills. This consists of things such as the use of 2D arrays, recursion. If you're using object-oriented programming, then inheritance and encapsulation is also an HL skill. Next, we'll move on to criteria D. You'll need to create a video talking about your solution and how it works. You need to show that it is working and all the functionalities of your solution. And finally, criteria E, you just have to evaluate your product. Does it meet all your success criteria? In criteria A, what your client thought about it? Was there any criticism that your client gave to you? And that all comes to criteria E. And all of this you'll put under a uh, main page where the examiner can access each criteria easily. And now let's talk about the computer science EE. So the computer science EE is treated just like any other experimental science. So this means that you need to have a hypothesis and create an experiment to verify it, or I guess perhaps disprove it if you're contradicting it. So some topics that are common is the comparison of algorithms, and more recently, a very hot topic is the use of artificial intelligence. So a lot of people are using artificial intelligence to achieve many things, and you can try to use that so you can see like compare different architectures of artificial intelligence and how they perform in doing specific tasks. Or if you're comparing algorithms, you can try different algorithms, perhaps uh, in terms of pathfinding or computational geometry. For example, I myself did one on computational geometry, specifically on the algorithms of convex hulls. So in the computer science EE, uh, you are you are given an initiative to go outside the syllabus. You want to research something that interests you, something that perhaps isn't in the main computer science syllabus itself. This is your opportunity to do so if you're interested in the intricacies of algorithms. This is where you can research it. So finally, let's just move on to some tips. So first of all, you want to just focus on one option for paper two. There are four options, and perhaps if you're interested in all of them, you can look into them. But ideally, you'll just uh, study one and be really good at that one option so you can ace your paper two. Next, if you're struggling with algorithms in paper one, because you do need to learn pseudocode, you should learn an actual language. It really helps, and what you apply in pseudocode will be much more trivial for you because regardless, you'll need to learn a programming language for your IA anyways. So it's a good opportunity to practice not just a real programming language, but also get better at your implementations of algorithms. For paper three, you should work together with your friends to create a repository of potential questions. So create a group where you can uh, find potential questions that might come out for your paper three. Uh, think about what exactly might come out based on past years. And this way you can create a large amount of questions by working together and be ready for anything that might come up. And finally, for your IA, pick a topic that you enjoy. The computer science IA takes a really, really long time compared to the other IAs. Some IAs you might be able to finish in just a couple of days, maybe weeks, but the computer science IA will take you months. And so you should pick a topic that you like and enjoy the process. Uh, Learn how you can develop a computer science product and and make a product that you're proud of. And that is all for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time if you did watch to the end. And I hope that if you do take computer science in IB, you find it enjoyable as much as I did.